Okay. Yeah. One of the things that we're going to talk about tomorrow in our mentorship call is the idea of kind of the idea of like different phases of gait and how we use compression to produce force. And one of the things that like, I was reading like a singer's blog earlier today, and they were talking about how like teachers talk about maintaining like I don't know, a tube shape or whatever, a tall shape or, an hourglass or whatever shape, and I was reading your comment earlier as well, Caroline, and I think that the idea of like posture is not like, I think that's the big misconception that like posture is like one thing that you maintain always, and it's not that at all. Posture is dynamic. Like all I'm saying is that like a good stacking posture is a starting position. You know what I mean? To do whatever you want. And so we're going to kind of work on that. We're going to work on like going from the starting position to using like the upper body as a driver and then the lower body as a driver and kind of see where that takes us. Because as singers, you're actually moving a lot more from here than you are from down here, like as far as projection goes, which is opposite of most athletes. So it's interesting. But like a lot of the like compensations that you see, like people with like arches in their backs and this and that, like those are actually done in sports and in music to produce more stuff, like to produce more sound, to produce more power. Like if I arch my back as a sprinter and I put my foot in the ground, I hit the ground harder so I can bounce off the ground harder, and so like if I like say you produce a sound where you're just here and I'm like, oh, if I use my entire body and I compress all back here, I can push more air forward. I mean, it's like squeezing a garden hose. You can like focalize the amount of water that's being pushed out, and so it's not like, and that's good. Like you should be able to do that. It's just controlling the rebound. It's like being able to get back into this position afterwards, and so that's kind of the name of the game. And I think that that's where people go wrong, is that they think that like, once you change a shape, you have to stay in that shape. And like we want our shape shifting abilities to be as variable as possible. And guys, please correct me if I'm wrong with any of what I'm saying. It's just a theory in my head right now. So we're just going to work on that stuff, and we're going to start kind of joint by joint. We're going to start with lower body drivers. We're going to start at the foot with an upper body that's sort of a little less movement based. So what we're going to need for today is just blocks. Really, I've got 2 yoga blocks here, but even if you want a pillow or something, that's good too. But we're just gonna start by and that's the other point, is that like when we with all singers, like warm up wise, we just want to start from our stacked position. Like we want to reestablish our stacked position first, so it doesn't look like you've been singing for a few hours, all the time. So this is why we do it as a warm up and a cool down. So that's why we always start with this stuff. So I want everybody to line their backs here. We're gonna get this very simple. The formula for that is going to be hamstrings, really, at the pelvis. So I want everybody to just, we're going to press our backs into the ground. We're just going to tuck our hips slightly off the ground so we can kind of feel our hamstrings here. We're going to dig our heels back. Hands are open. And we're just holding in this position, all right? We're just going to breathe for about a minute, all right? So I want everybody to think about breathing deep through your nose. Opening your mouth slightly and sighing as if you're going like, ah. Pausing and then inhaling again. Just continue to breathe, kind of put your eyes right on the ceiling. Focus on feeling primarily hamstrings. Got about 20 seconds here. All right, now maintaining these hamstrings, I want you to change your focus. We're going to reach our arms up like this, all right? And we're going to work on our reaching skill, okay? So again, eyes are forward. What we're going to do is take a deep breath in, keeping tension in our abs. On the exhale, I just want you to reach your arm, kind of just reach your shoulder blades slightly off the ground. Feel your ribs drop down and in, and just pause for a second. Let's take another deep breath in. Exhale and reach. Pause. Breathe in. As you exhale, just shoulder blades come slightly off the ground. Try to find obliques versus rectus. Breathe in. And slight side to the mouth, a little bit of an open mouth. Try to make my obliques do work. We've got like 10 seconds here. And last one, breathe in. And exhale. All right, guys, now come down and relax for a second. I'm going to throw in a bonus one. Okay, so this is for forward head posture, and this is for people that have this sort of anterior facial tilt that look like they look down all the time and have these like jaws that are open all the time. All right, this is a way to kind of reset your it's called your occiput. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to come back and tuck our pelvis. Same thing. This time, as we breathe in, you're just going to look up a little bit more. You're going to kind of nod your chin up. And then on the exhale, you're just going to look down slightly and nod your chin down. Just going to do this a couple times. Let's inhale and look up. Let's exhale and look down. It's a very slight motion. Breathe in and just try to move from the back of your head as opposed to from your neck. Exhale and look down. Let's just do one more here. Let's breathe in. And let's exhale. All right, everybody. Now we're going to come onto one leg for this first circuit. Okay, and I talked about using a lower body driver with a fixed upper body. Okay, and so literally what we're going to do here is hold our block here like this. All right, and we're going to breathe in. You're going to get your pelvic tuck. We're going to breathe in, kind of, and what I want you to focus on here, I'll kind of show you what I'm looking at. I'll kind of show you so you can see my knee here, right? As I'm breathing in, my foot rolls in and my kneecap comes in. As I exhale, you can't see it at my foot. I'll show you in a second. But my knee comes out and I come up on my big toe. Okay, so it looks like this. I breathe in, feel my foot flat against the ground. I exhale and I push off. Breathe in, exhale and push off like that. We're just going to knock this out for about 30 seconds. And you're going to feel calf, hamstring, all kinds of different things, but mostly, hopefully, glute max, which is our target here. So let's reach with our arms. Okay, let's get our tuck. Let's come off the ground here. Let's breathe in. Exhale. Back down. Let's breathe in. Let's exhale. Breathe it in. Up under the toe. Breathe it in. Knee comes in. Flatten the foot. Exhale. Up. Breathe it in, knee comes in. Exhale, up. Breathe it in, knee comes in. Exhale, up. About 10 seconds. Breathe it in, knee comes in. And up. Breathe it in, knee comes in. And up. Oh, man. Hopefully you guys felt your butts there like I did. All right, so again, let's reach. All right, let's get our tuck going on. You can bridge up a little bit more. But again, we're going to breathe in. Let's feel our knee and foot kind of drop in. Let's exhale. And a calf raise. Let's breathe in. Breathing comes in. Let's exhale. Let's pop up. Let's breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. We got about 15 seconds. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Last one, breathe in and exhale. All right, now let's go ahead and stand this up. All right, we're gonna try to find the same thing in standing, right? So this is very much an ankle drill. Okay, we're putting a lot of stuff on our ankle, and in this position, I want everybody to kind of stick their butt out and lean in, okay? So you can feel quite a stretch in your hamstrings here, okay? So my knee's slightly bent, but the same thing is true, okay? I'm gonna breathe in, feel my weight go to the inside of my foot, my knee comes into what is called, into a little bit of valgus, everything collapses in. I exhale, I come in, I come out, but you see what I'm doing? You see my knee coming out like that. All right, we're just gonna spend about 30 seconds here, guys. So let's breathe in. Come down. So Nate said, just think about doing calf raises in this position. Stay right here. Look at my knee. I breathe in, and then I exhale and I come up onto my toe. So breathe in, do a calf raise. There you go. So as you inhale, your foot flattens. As you exhale, you come up. You got it now. Good. Breathe in. Nothing else moves except for this area. You're doing it right. You're going to feel a lot of butt, a lot of calf, a lot of hamstring. Let's just do 2 more here. And then just 1 more. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides there. Ooh. Feels like I got shot in the butt there. All right. So now let's, same thing. Let's hinge down. Let's find this stretch. Okay. Same idea. Okay. We want to push through the big toe versus around it. Okay. So let's breathe in, feel the foot flatten. Let's exhale and raise. Breathe in, flatten the foot. Exhale and raise it up. Keep that stretch going on. Kind of in a max compression position here. About 15 seconds. Ten seconds, guys. Just 1 more. All right, so let's go back in a bridge, everybody. Could everybody feel their butt? Give me a thumbs up if you can feel like butt and hamstring there somewhat. All right, yes. Whew. All right, let's come back in a position, everybody. Okay, and really, if you guys are doing this right, if you guys have a question, stop me. But if you're doing this right, you're going to feel even more butt as we go along here. So again, this is like being at the bottom of a, like in the middle of a squat, pushing back up, or this is like hitting the ground when you're sprinting and pushing back off. All right, so let's tuck. Let's bring our knee in. And let's add a bridge to it this time. Let's come down, bring the knee in and come up. Knee comes in, maximally load, exhale, raise. Just come through that toe. Breathe in, breathe out. Got about 15 seconds here. Almost there. Last one. Let's switch sides there. Guys, you're doing awesome. Let's make our butts pay. All right, what did they do to me? Here we go. All right, let's breathe in, exhale, and raise it up. Breathe in. About 15 seconds. Last one. Beautiful. Let's come back up here, ladies.
It's okay if we feel it in our calves as well, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, you're definitely going to.
Just checking. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way that you won't.
Okay.
In fact, if you didn't feel it in your calf, I would be like, you might want to get that checked.
Yeah, well, you said like we should feel it in our butts, but that time I felt it more in my calves.
That's okay. I mean, you know, again, every rep is going to be a little bit different. And that might just mean that, you know, positioning yourself optimally is going to mean that it's kind of like all those areas are sharing the work versus one area doing the most work, I guess you could say. I mean, you know, like if you feel mostly butt, that's not bad, but you want to think when you're doing this action, the calf initiates it, the foot initiates it, then everything goes up the chain. So when you feel butt, that's just indicating that your hip is following your foot. So, you know, you might readjust something that might help you, but let's see how it feels here. Okay, but let's get our maximal stretch. I want you guys to let your back arch a little bit, hinge down. Okay, so you can feel this max compression, and I want you to get your knee over your toe a little bit, find your pronation, and let's do our thing. Come down and let's come up. There you go. Good stuff, ladies. About 15 seconds. Caroline, can you feel your butt here somewhat?
Yeah, this I feel definitely more butt.
Yeah.
And like upper thigh.
And it could be angle, right? Like it's definitely, this angle is much more severe. So it causes, all right, switch sides. So you actually should feel a lot more everywhere here, but, all right, everybody, so let's hinge down. Get the knee over the toe a little bit. Let's do our thing. Good stuff there. Inete, how are you doing with that? Are you able to push through your toe okay?
Yeah, left leg is a little wobbly.
That's okay. It happens, right? But the main thing is you're getting it done. The more you do it, it's a motor skill. The more you do it, the more your body will get used to it. Got about 10 seconds here. That's okay. That's all right. That's why we're doing this. All right, just one more. All right, now what we're going to do is I want you guys to just practice this real quick because this is really what we're doing. So we're pulling a slingshot back, right? And this is the point at which we're just practicing releasing the slingshot. So now I'm just going to set you loose. So come into this position. Okay, this is a little bit more detailed, but you're here. All right, same thing, same motion. I want everybody to just do 6 jumps. Deep breath in. And then we switch sides. All right, same thing here. Nice, one more. Beautiful. Okay, so when you guys are doing that jump, could you feel your butt doing work there? Like, did you feel like you were able to push through your toe and you're getting kind of distribution of work there somewhat? Somewhat, yeah. As opposed to like pushing around the toe, right? Remember how we talked about like the shopping cart with the wheel that like kind of veered off to the side or whatever? Your body will want to go around your big toe if it can't push through it, okay? And then you don't end up using the muscles that we want to create compression. You start using like hip flexors and other things, and you don't get full hip extension. So that's why that's important, and that's kind of like why it's like we isolate all that stuff, and then we work on pushing off in that position. So It's just one of those things, like that's what I would have you do before you went out and like did, you know, like sprinting or something like that. That's like a good warm up for that. But it's something that getting control of that big toe and even doing an exercise like that before you sing is great, because when you exhale and you're pushing, you get to your big toe and you're like pushing, even if you don't go forward, you gas pedal into the ground, so that the more you can push through the big toe, the more force you can produce. All right, and the more control you have as well. Versus getting it, versus like gripping the big toe. So let's go ahead and come into side plank here, okay? Now, for this one, we're gonna move to the upper body, okay? So what I want everybody to do in this position is we are going to just come into this position. We can either do this bent leg or straight leg. It's whatever is, you know, whatever you're able to do for like 30 to 45 seconds. But the way this is gonna work is that we're gonna take this block and we're gonna push our body back as much as we can. We're gonna breathe in, exhale, and pull forward. All right, so we're here, breathe in, push your hip back, exhale and pull forward. For about 15 seconds. Just one more. All right, let's switch sides here. Let's find our oblique. Let's either go bent leg or straight leg like I'm doing. It's whatever's available to you. Again, push away from the ground, ladies. Think about bringing your elbow towards your waist here. Let's go ahead and reach. Breathe it in. In. We're almost there. About 15 seconds. I don't know if that's actually almost there. 10 seconds. Good, and last one. All right, so let's go ahead and stand up again. If you have a, actually, no, we're not even gonna use a mat for this. What I want everybody to do is we're going to take our block, okay? And we're going to stagger our left foot slightly behind our right foot, okay? So essentially we're gonna create the side plank that we were just doing, okay? And so what this is gonna look like is that I'm gonna coil to this left side, and then I'm gonna push forward. Now, here's the thing though, right? As a singer, your body weight is gonna wanna come forward through your legs. Here, I want you to try to anchor in your heels, okay? Particularly the left heel, okay? So finding that left heel, I'm shifting back, I'm coming around. I push, but I stay back, okay? So you're using your upper body as kind of like a propeller, and you're keeping your anchor back here, if that makes sense, all right? So let's breathe in. Coil up to that side, create as much tension as possible. Breathe it in. Breathe in. Breathe it in. Squeeze the block, that'll help. So create tension by squeezing your block and then releasing it as you exhale. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. One more time, breathe in. Exhale, let it go. All right, switch sides. All right. It's the same thing. All right, our goal is to find this oblique and get as sort of coily as we can on this side. All right, so here we go. Let's breathe in. Breathe it in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Let's just do 3 more. Last one. Beautiful. All right, let's come back in a side plank. Could everybody feel obliques there for the most part as we were doing that one? Somewhat?
Definitely.
Said not really?
I felt it a lot,
Oh, you did? Okay.
but, you know,
Well, that's the thing is that think about it this way. We're going from a position where we're creating as much squeeze as possible to letting go. Okay, so we're pulling back the slingshot as we go down. We're firing the slingshot as we let go. And here it's a little bit different. We're pulling back the slingshot, creating tension, squeezing this, firing the slingshot. Okay, so I want you guys to think about firing with maximum 110. Okay, so create as much tension as you can as we reach out, and then let go as we pull back. Okay, because the pull back part is just kind of the rebound effect. Okay, so here we go. All right, let's breathe in and create tension. Exhale. Breathe in, squeeze the block, create tension. Breathe in, squeeze. Breathe in, squeeze. At about 10 seconds, breathe in, squeeze. Breathe it in, squeeze. Last one, breathe it in, squeeze. Let's switch sides. All right, so we're gonna be in this position again. And you can create additional tension, right? So when we're creating tension, we squeeze things. So squeezing the block, I'm also pulling my elbow towards my waist. On the downside, my waist towards my elbow. So here we go. Let's breathe in, squeeze. Breathe in, squeeze. Breathe in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. For about 10 seconds, breathe it in. Breathe it in. Last one, breathe it in. Exhale. Whew. All right. Oh, man, let's get everybody to stand up. I don't know about you guys, that was like oblique city there. Now, for this one, again, so a couple things. Number one, your weight is still going to be on the inside of your foot as we go down. So even though we're not kind of coming forward off of our toes like that, you're still pushing through your big toe. Okay, that's still a thing. So as we go down and as we come up, our weight's kind of like heel. As we load back, our weight's more in our heel, but still a little bit on the big toe. And then as we come forward, more weight is in the big toe. We're just not falling forward. Okay, we're staying anchored into our foot, but we're still pushing through the big toe like a gas pedal. Okay, so that's a key thing there. That's going to help you to kind of get a little bit more. So let's squeeze our block. Okay, let's start to create some tension before we ever move. Let's breathe in and shift back. Let's breathe it in, coil up, like a spring. Let's breathe it in. Let's breathe it in. About 10 seconds, breathe it in, coil up. One more, breathe it in, squeeze. Beautiful, and we switch sides. And again, eyes stay forward. So don't look down excessively, don't necessarily look up either. And actually, I'm gonna give you a cue. As you breathe in, I want you to keep your eyes forward, but I want you to gaze down. Keep your gaze in front of you like you're looking about a mile in front of you, but then just kind of put your eyes down. That's also going to help you to create a little bit more compression. As you exhale, just look up a little bit, and that's going to help you to release that tension. All right, so let's do our thing. All right, so eyes forward, you start to look down. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. About 10 seconds, breathe it in. Two more, breathe it in. And last one, breathe it in. All right, how is everybody doing on obliques there? Was that a bit better? Could you guys feel that? Kirsten and Ente, how'd you guys feel with that?
I feel them. It's weird, but I feel them.
Yeah, it is weird. What about you, Kirsten?
I still feel more hamstring than obliques, but
Hey, that's never a bad thing, but it just shows you a little bit where, you know, of what you want to work on a little bit. So for you and your warm-ups, Kirsten, like when you're warming up for singing and stuff, like doing a lot of things with reaching, you know, like whether it be like sitting on a box and we're about to do a reaching thing. So this will be relevant to you, but let's go ahead and jump into that thing, because one of the things that we want our singers to be is oblique dominant. Like oblique dominance is great because it keeps us from overusing rectus, or it helps us to not overuse rectus. All right. So quick review of this position, okay? We're gonna do some hard stuff in this position for Caroline, but quick review. All right, now we're gonna be on all fours like this, okay? First thing that I wanna do is tuck my pelvis, get my hamstrings. You guys should have no problem with that, okay? Now, the way that we get obliques, and one of the ways that you could find it actually is get your hands a little bit wider. That helps me sometimes to kind of find what I'm looking for. But as I exhale, I'm going to breathe in. As I exhale, I just basically, like, I'm pushing through the outside of my hands. And I'm pushing the ground away from me. But what I'm not doing is that. So when I push, if it ends up looking like a turtle, okay, then I'm using rectus, okay? And the difference will be that you will feel, you know, out here versus up here. All right. So as we inhale, let's get our tug. Shift your weight to the inside of your hands as we're inhaling here. As you exhale, shift the weight to the outside of your hands and push away from the ground. For me, that lights up my obliques on their own. Let's do a couple. Breathe in. Weight on the inside of your hands. Exhale, weight through your pinky. One more time, inhale. And exhale, weight through your pinkies. How was that? Were you guys able to feel that pretty well? Yeah? So, oblique, good. Okay, great. Okay. And Nate as well, you felt obliques on there? Yeah?
Not so much.
Not so much? What were you feeling?
Today I'm a little tense on my upper back, so it actually made me feel like a little bit of a stretch up here.
But not necessarily like muscles gripping, right? Were you able to feel the expansion as you inhaled?
Yeah, but still not as much as usually. So
Okay.
it's a little.
So you're going to do version 1 of our exercise then. Kirsten and Caroline, you guys can do version 2, or you can stick with 1. The way this works is that I'm going to rock back and breathe in. Exhale. And come forward. As I rock back, weight is on the outside of my hands. As I come forward, weight's on the inside of your hands. And kind of the way this is going to work is that if you version 2 would just be that knees are off the ground. All right, so pick the one that works for you. You just need to still be able to find expansion and like abs in the same areas. Okay, so we're just going to do this one for about 30 seconds here. So let's get our hands. Let's get the weight on the outside of our hands. All right, let's go. Eyes are forward. Let's go ahead and breathe in and rock back. As you rock back, just kind of look down a little bit. Exhale. Come forward. Weight on the outside of the hands. Let's rock back. Exhale forward. Let's rock back. Breathe in. Exhale forward. And then just one more. Breathe in, rock back. Exhale forward. Awesome. So I want everybody to stand up here. If you guys have a rolled up mat, that would be helpful because we're literally just going to do the same thing that we worked on in quadruped. So if you don't have a rolled up mat, that's fine too, but we're going to be dropping into a deep squat. So whatever you're able to do. I'm going to be holding my block here. All right, the way this is going to work is that I'm going to start kind of in the middle of my squat, okay? I'm going to pull myself down. Weights on the outside of my hands as I stand up. Weights on the inside of my hands. I'm going to pull down. Exhale. Let's come to the middle. Let's breathe in. Exhale. Let's breathe it in. Exhale up. Breathe it in. Exhale up. About 10 seconds. Let's breathe it in. Exhale up. Breathe it in. Exhale up. Whew. We can stand up. Yeah. Yeah, that'll get you. All right. Shake the hands out, ladies. Let's come back into quadruped. We're just working that deep range. Okay, we're trying to get some expansion down there. I actually really feel that. It feels good. All right. Come back into quadruped. And again, you know the way that you know that it's the right exercise for you is the one that where we feel expansion. Okay, we don't feel muscles like gripping. Like we want. So in this particular exercise, we're going to feel expansion below the shoulder blades as well as through the chest. So stay on all fours or stand up, it doesn't matter. But let's do our thing. Okay, so I want you to put your eyes on your block, kind of try to keep it there somewhat. Let's breathe in and rock back. Exhale. Pull yourself forward. Breathe in and rock back. Weight on the outside of your hands. Exhale and pull yourself forward. Breathe in. Weight on the outside of your hands. Think about pushing yourself back. Exhale. Think about pulling yourself forward. Breathe in. Rock yourself back. Exhale, pull yourself forward. One more time, breathe in, push back. Exhale and pull yourself forward. All right. Last round of the squat here, ladies, and we're going to move on. Working this deep range because it is the most important position you can adopt, really, as a singer, I think. Love the deep squat. All right, let's get wide here. All right, let's start at the bottom. All right, let's take a deep breath in. Let's exhale our way halfway up. Squeeze the block. Now lighten up on the block, kind of put the weight on the outside of your hands, breathe in. Squeeze the block and stand to the middle. Breathe it in. Let's push those in. Let's squeeze and stand. Let's breathe in and come down. Let's exhale and come up. Some more. Breathe in and come down. Exhale and come up. Last one. Breathe in and come down. Exhale and come up. And stand. Man. And I'd say that's very impressive. When you first started, I don't know if you could get into that position at all.
I couldn't.
Yeah, that's really good. That exercise requires great control. You guys are killing it. Could everybody feel some oblique there as well? Like when you're doing that, could you feel these muscles working as you're squeezing the block standing? Yeah. So another way to do it, just like as a quick aside too, to get things to activate, is you can tap. Like if I tap a muscle, you've heard of that before, like tapping. Yeah, that helps to just kind of wake the nervous system up a little bit, or you could be like, like whatever you want to do. So anyway, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and come into our half kneeling position, guys. We're going to return to sort of our lower body driver stuff here. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to switch that up because we will use that, but not yet. Okay, everybody do this. Okay, we're gonna start with this because I think this makes more sense. All right. So what I want everybody to do is we're going to progress to our half get up. All right. So with this, I want everybody to pressure back into the grounds. Okay. Now you're going to pick a spot in the ceiling with your arm. And we're doing that motion, okay? So it's like I roll onto the outside of my elbow and I push, so I'm pushing through my toe here. I breathe in, hard exhale, and I'm coming up, okay? It's a half get up, all right? And it's something that if you're stuck on one side, this is a great exercise to move you to the other side. All right, so let's take a deep breath in and come down. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Just do two more here. And last one. All right, let's switch sides. If you don't feel no oblique after that, you might be dead because it's a great exercise for that. All right, so again, I'm picking a spot in the ceiling, so I'm not like going over here. My arm's going straight up. Couple more here, ladies. Nice. And then just one more. All right, so now we're going to switch back to our other side. We're going to start back in this position, okay? So I'm here. You can take your block. All right, now what I want everybody to do is we're going to come up, we're going to put our hand behind us. We're going to go like that. We're going to come up in a half kneeling.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, do it with me. Here, hold on. All right, so come on to your elbow. All right, so yeah, you got it. Wait, yeah, there you go. All right, so now other elbow, straighten your arm out behind you. And just do this a couple times. Just lift up and come down. And there's one more. Now hold up here, don't move. Now pull your leg under and go like that. Now come back through. Pull under, back through.
Okay.
You got it, you're doing good. And now just one more. Pull through and then just come up into half kneeling. Nice, like a break dancer. All right, let's just switch sides here. Same thing. All right, so we're in this position. Let's just hold up here. Come up on our elbow behind us. Raise this up. Come down. Raise this up. Come down. Raise this up. Hold. Pull through. Now pull back through. Now pull through again. Pull back through. Good, you got it. Now one more time. Pull through. And then come up in a half kneeling. All right. So this is a get up. This is like the Turkish get up, and this transverse plane domain is kind of where it lives. So we're going to do a full get up here. And I'm going to give you guys a challenge after that, but let's just do this together. Okay. So I'm going to walk everybody through this. Just follow me step by step. We're going to start with our left knee bent, our left arm up. Okay. So I want everybody to, let's do a sit up here. Okay. So sit up, hand behind you, lift up, pull through, and stand. Good. Now we're just going to reverse it. We're going to come back down, lower down, pull through, and down. All right. Let's do this one more time. Let's go a little bit faster. All right. So get your pelvic tuck a little bit there. Let's come up, through, bend. All right, ladies, now I'm going to give you a challenge. All right. I want you to try to hold the block. Whoop. I want you to try to hold the block in your fist like this. All right. We're going to see how that works. Okay. So in order to do this well, you've got to be able to hold this block this way. So I'm going to give us 30 seconds. All right. We're just going to try to knock out 2 get-ups on this side. So go ahead. Keep looking up at the block. Don't let it drop down. One more. Nice. Whew. Could you guys do it? Yeah? All right. Not quite? All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. Let's go ahead and switch sides. There we go. Okay, so let's just walk through one together before we do anything. And I want you to make note of just like differences on this side. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Whew. All right, now 30 seconds, guys. Let's just try to knock out 2 on your own here. All right, so let's hold this guy up. Missed one. All right, just one more. Oh, I lose. Well done, guys. That was fun. So that kind of really puts together everything that we've been talking about, and that like postural control is dynamic. Okay. If you could do that better, you're gonna have better posture because you have better overall control of your body. And it's just providing your body options and the ability to move through different positions. Caroline, you're still working on it, huh?
Well, my left hand was harder than my right. And I'm trying to,
You're trying to figure out
see
why, yeah?
Yeah.
Because because you're shifted in one direction. One oblique might be weaker than the other side.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Did Kirsten and Anita, did you guys feel weaker on one side, or like it was like more wobbly?
I couldn't. I'm sorry. I couldn't get up easier with my right side.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, but this is really good because it helps to expose that stuff. And it's like, it sucks when you can't do it, so you want to do it more. But Kirsten, what about you? Did you notice a difference from side to side?
It's fun, but struggle bus on both sides.
Struggle bus on both sides? There you go. Well, I mean, hey, that's why we do it. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and finish up just with some rolling. And this is another one that will expose differences from side to side. So what I want everybody to do, we're just going to start with some just early stance rolling here. What I'm looking for is, we're just going to lift up a leg, start to initiate a roll to the other side. Come to your stomach, and then lift the leg. Initiate a roll back onto your back here. Just going to do this one a couple times. Let's just do two more here. And we'll switch sides. What I want you to notice here is does one side feel different than the other? Just one more. And everybody just come on all fours here real quick. Gonna rock our butt to our heels. We're gonna breathe. We'll be done. All right, everybody give it a rest. Ladies, you're all done. Whew, man. Give me some cranial pressure there. All right. Did you guys notice on the rolling, like it was harder to one side versus the other? Like, did you notice any difference?
The left was easier to roll. I don't know why.
It's easier to roll to the left?
Today.
Well, essentially the get up is rolling. It's not exactly the same thing, but if you think about it, you're rotating towards one side, and then you rotate back.
Well,
So
the left get up was easier and I'm heavier on my right, so that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, every everybody's a little bit different, but it's just kind of like it's making those small connections. Like this side of my body might be a little bit different from the other side of my body, So it's interesting. But I hope everybody can make our call tomorrow. I'm going to talk about some really cool stuff. So if you can, I'll record it. But I'd love to see all of you there. It would be awesome. Can you guys?
I'll be there.
Awesome. I know you will be.
Yeah.
But oh, by the way, guys, we're going to start, if it's okay, at 12:30 versus noon, just because that is, it just helps me out a little bit time-wise. So anyway, guys, you did awesome today. Any questions or on anything we covered or anything like that?
So no, 12:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays or Friday?
No, Friday, tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about our mentorship call, not these classes. Yeah.
Okay.
So these don't change. But anyway, guys, great stuff. I hope to see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
Bye.